Hello and welcome to another episode of Lee's Listers. So this episode is very much in two halves. This is the first part of the trolley building restoration, and the second one will follow shortly after. But this half of the video is me freeing off the wheels and axles from each other, and then the second half of the video is then the starting on the woodwork side of the trolley. So I needed to get the wheels and axles free from each other, so this was a solution I came up with, and it did work quite well, to be fair. So yeah, stay tuned, and while you're here, don't forget to subscribe and give me a like, and I'll see you in the video. That's one axle free. Right, so here's my solution to freeing the wheels off. I've got my double head burner pointing right in the middle. I've got this great big long pole ratchet strapped to the wheels, or wheeler, and I have a pair of Stilsons on the end of the axles. So I'll get it spacked up and start it getting warmed. one job, this heating job. Done them two. Done that one. Absolute pain. So now oven. Doesn't take as much heating, but I bet I'll be at least half an hour doing it. And I've used one gas ball. This one with frost. Ain't looking so pretty either, so see how we get on. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Lee's Listers. So, we're outside in the back garden today because we're starting on the trolley. So, what I've done off camera, because it's taken me hours and hours and hours to work out, is all the positioning, go the other way, of the trolley. So, from the front axle, point to that, to the brace in the middle, to where the steering support goes and the steering. So what I've done is I made up a mock template of the engine. So it's a 20-inch deep piece of cardboard by 24 inches wide, and then this little notch out here is where the exhaust is. So that's 4.5 inches away from the engine, and then I think it's 3 inches wide. So where that goes is basically on there. So when I've not got this axle on, that sits on there, and it gives me a rough idea of where it's at, because I've had to work all this out from photos. So if you've been following along, you'll see that I don't have any trolley wood, so I have all the metal work but no wood, so I've had to basically guess how all this goes. So I'll flip you around. So yeah, having to guess where it all goes, I've had to make it up sort of as I go along with a bit of good guess and judgment. So right, I've drawn everything on here. So I've gone 6 inches from the end is where the tank starts. The tank I've got, which I know is very, very similar to an original, is 36 inches long. So that's marked across there. Then what I've done for the steering, I've got the wheel, which is 24 inches across, halved it, which gave me 12, plus another inch in. So that gave me 13 inches to the centre of there. So that's mounted up 13 inches from that end. Then that measurement from there to there is a given because of that rod. So I've put the bolt in underside, just held it at the top because there's the swivel part to go on there. So that's a given. So all I've done is make sure that's parallel and that's evenly spaced at both ends. So that's determined by that. The original I don't think had this in. I've got no sort of photos side on or from the top, so I don't really know. But what I have got, so bear in mind you are looking at it upside down like this, I've got a photo from about here. So I can see across there is a chock. That's there. Because I had that resting on top of there where the axle is. So that chock, I've guesstimated, sits somewhere in there, that brace. So what I've done there, by working out the cardboard, I've gone 8 inches from there to the end of the engine. Yeah, that's it. Then the exhaust will sit somewhere in here. And then I can tell from there that that brace is a little bit further back underneath the engine. It's not right on against the end, but it's a little bit further back. So I sort of guesstimated it wants to go there. Then I've dropped the axle on. So I know the end of the engine's there. The bolt for that will somewhere be in there. And the brace, so it will sit somewhere between that, the brace, and where that is will the engine bolt. That'll then give enough clearance between this brace that goes across here. So between there and there. And then where the exhaust comes down. And then with that brace going across, it'll give something, because there'll be that brace across there for the exhaust to secure to. That's a piece of wood on the floor. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to run it underneath the exhaust and fasten it to this as well. And curve it round, I think, and go straight up. But between the tank finishing there and the engine there, I've 24 inches of room. because in there I've got a fuel tank to get and a water pump, and I'll be spaced out nicely so it's not too hunched. So I wanted, in this middle part of the trolley, a decent bit of room. So that there is where the tank goes from there to there. I know there's going to be 6 inches stuck out the end because that's how there was. So yeah, that is the trolley. How I'm going to do it. So I'm in it a larch, which is the closest wood I believe to pitch pine that there was made out of originally. Pitch pine I believe now is an endangered wood, so it's quite difficult to get hold of. Larch is readily available, and also this wood I do know, if it wasn't so foggy, come from over there in a wood, about a mile and a half away from home. So my local woodman who makes sheds and stuff sawed me this bit about 3 weeks, a month ago. So it's all out of one tree, and it's not travelled very far. So what I've done, that's just nipped up there with that sash clamp to hold that tight. I've got a sash clamp under there, same width, to nip that tight to get that spacing right. So the next plan is to drill these holes, then lift this out of the way, and then tackle these mortise and tenon ones. I'll drill these as well while it's in place. I'll probably mark these on the inside under here, and then take that off and drill them with a bit more room. But one thing is as well is that you'll notice this wheel is broken. So what's happened, at some point it's been dragged sideways and they crack across here. So when I was warming this to try and get it off, I was eating my sandwich and there was a great big bang, and it cracked across where you can see where it's been a fresh crack, where it's been weakened. So that's already gone and that's fresh, and it just popped off, and then when I touched it the whole section fell out. So what I have got for that, I've got a steel band rolled, which I'm going to drop that piece back in and then put that steel band round and tighten it up. I'll show you how I'm going to go about that. To basically put a tyre on it. So I have quite a few that's been repaired like that. I know it works, but I've just got this sodding wheel off, so it's still stuck fast, hence why it's lifted on like this, and it's strapped on at that end to stop it falling off. I'm thinking I'm going to chop it off here, and then take it to a customer who's got a big press, because it needs to get like a 30-inch wheel in it, and press this axle out, and then see about getting a new axle made, possibly getting this board and getting that axle slid in there and then drilled and then welded on professionally. I mean, I can stick weld, but this has got all this lot plus an engine bouncing up and down on that end, so it needs to be right. So for the time being, I've got that bloody heavy wheel to lift on and off. The other axle's all free, the wheel's down here, and so's the band. So that's one of my jobs to do. But yeah, that's the first part of the trolley. So I'll start a bit of wood butchery now and show off my not very good wood skills. I have these chocks, I did get plenty of them. So bear in mind as well, this is all upside down, so it actually won't be the other way up. So you won't actually see any of this because it'll be hidden underneath. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, I got some more of these just in case I made a balls up. But also, excuse me, when the tank sits, there's 3 that sit across here to support the tank. So I got these the same width, and the plan was I can always chop them in half to make nice little stands for that, rather than putting them that way because it looks frigging silly, or over like that, they just look daft. So the plan is I can nip them in half. And I've got some decent clods for the garage if I don't use them, or if I've made an absolute balls of this, I've got some spares. So yeah, that's the plan. So we'll get cracked on with some drilling. Right, here's all my bolts. So these 4 go through the fixed axle. These 4 go the sideways ones through the steering part. They hold on that brace off that part, and they're the 4 for holding it on. And this remains of what's left. So there's the knackered old mag chain. I use that, and that, believe it or not, was the fuel tank. Now I don't think somehow that is correct, because it ain't got a lid for a start. Well, it has, but it's just a drop on and off lid. But yeah, there's some drift there. Anyway, I've selected my great whopping drill bit, which is bigger than that nut, so a little bit of wiggle room, and let's go and have a go. Right, I was always taught, measure twice, cut once. So one last quick measure, so inch in. Right, I'm happy with that, so that's parallel that way. Just measure it this side. Right, it's the same distance this way, but it seems to be twisted. Which would suggest it's not square, unless these castings are twisted on the axle. I've not moved any of them, so I've only measured it from this end, you see. Let's have a think and see where else I can just double check it from before I get massively carried away drilling bloody holes. Right, about 20 minutes, it's nearly gone dark. I have an inch off that end, an inch off that end, just literally 1/8 of an inch short of that end, 1/8 over at that end. If I just tap that, right, it's exactly an inch. It's exactly an inch. It's exactly an inch. And it is as well. And we are 6 bob on there. We're 6 1/4 there. I know this reel is ever so slightly longer, so I'm going to go for it. What I'm going to do is just mark it with this. And then I'm going to whip it off and actually go for it properly without it in the way, because my daylight is running out. Right, that's M4 marked. So, when I say marked, I literally mean there's a little notch in the middle of the mark, so I'll whip that off now. I'll need the wife just to give me a hand with that. I wanted to get that done before it turns dark, and then I'll try and get these marked as well before it turns dark. The bits I use, it's relatively cheap, Clark auger bits. So if we're running the drill but running fairly slow, I've used these for a few trolleys now, so yeah, I've done a couple of oak trolleys with them, and yeah, a few bits and bats, so they was goodbye quite a few years ago. So yeah, I'll have that taken out of the way. I won't be much longer because I'm losing the light, so yeah, that might be it for today, and I might tackle it again when it's a bit bright tomorrow. Right, that's that heavy sod pulled out of the way, so you can see where they've gone. Drill through there, That's where that brace is going. The engine's going to start there, and the engine bolt will probably go somewhere about there, I guess. Be in that area anyway. So I'm pleased with that. So get that done, give them a bit of a do tonight before the light goes completely, and I'll mark up that end as well. Probably do that tonight, to be fair, before the light goes completely. Then yeah, it's all systems go for tomorrow. I also as well run the handle because these are a bit snatchy. Don't want a Wallace and Gromit one where I fly around and around the drill. Right, that's them marked up. Lovely jubbly. Try the bolt. Shit. It's a little bit tight. Didn't think it was. Definitely long enough anyway, I hope. Did measure it. Worry me now, it's not long enough. Anyway, that's all I can do right now. Might have to see if I can just find a bit of a bigger bit for that, so I didn't drill down too far, thinking that if it is a bit snug, but time to sort it. Actually, I was just running the drill back through, spawned that, so I won't worry on that bolt, and I won't look for a bigger drill bit. I'm going to crack on. I'm really all the way down to the chuff. Get through with it. Right, just going to stop there because it's nearly all the way through, and if I punch through the other side with this, what happens is you get a bit of drippy dirty hole. So just you wait till the point, basically that tip just pokes through, and then you take it out, put it in that hole at the bottom, and then just drill it from the other side, and that way you end up with a nice tidy hole. push that back in and go again. I'm not too worried on this side because the bolt head ride a lot of it. What's this look like, right? Look at that. Lovely. Bloody winter month, eh? It's only 20 past 4. Look how sodding dark it is. I don't even have any floodlights, so I have to use my torch and what light drill gives. And my outside light's knackered. I ain't got around to changing it yet. And they're so bloody expensive for what they are. LED lights, a decent one, outside light, 50, 60 odd quid. Unbelievable. So that's on the shopping list, is a decent outside light. Because it's actually on the decking at the back of the house, isn't that bad. Not particularly cold, not particularly warm. It's just right. And for this big job, it's great. Do you know, I've even cheated. A ratchet strapped me over to there. See if I'm to pick it up. It's a good idea if you ask me. Right, let's go underneath. Yeah, look at this. Job gets better. Drop a ball in, you've got somewhere to hold your torch, look. Bloody brilliant. Anyway, on with next two. There we go. Right, you see how friggin' dark it's got. Pitch black, but I managed to get all the holes drilled. I'll just crack on, get them done. So 2 for the axle at the front, 2 for the steering support, and the 4 for the steering point. That one bloody burst through. Just went all soft all of a sudden, it went through, so yeah, can't do about that. Luckily, there'll be nutted on there, so it should cover most of it. But yeah, that's a trolley hole drilled, so yeah, when it's tomorrow, or when it's light, I'll have a go at tackling, doing a bit of mortise and tent work. Right, that's it for tonight. Time to go in and get some tea.